Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review of the CW's The Vampire Diaries. After doing my catch-up for both this and the originals, a few days ago, with those general discussions of the latest two episodes, I'm happy to finally be back on track with my usual videos that I do plan for these shows. And, it feels good to be back in the routine of things, to be back in the usual way. And, so this episode I did like. Of course, a big thing about it was, based on the, how last week's episode ended, with Joe supposedly being, resurrected or basically brought back, was, shown how that was shown at the end of the episode. Definitely had me, and I'm sure people who are still watching the show, eager to see what that was all about. And we got our answer, but I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. But it wasn't exactly what I'm sure many of the characters on the show were hoping for. But the episode started in a way I don't think anyone's seen coming. Of course, a lot of the episodes lately have been starting with that 3-year flash forward. Like how we've gotten once with Caroline. She has a fiance. She gets on the phone with Stefan. Someone attacks her. There was also a flash forward with Stefan waking up Damon. That something coming after him. Someone coming after him. And so we got another flash forward this week, which, that's not the part I'm surprised by. These things are still really well done. I like the mystery surrounding what exactly is going on in this world only 3 years from now, and what's, so drastically changed all these different things compared to where we're at in the present time of the series. But what surprised me was, not that it was a flash forward with Bonnie, the fact that, you see Bonnie, she's obviously been through some very traumatic experience. She talks about, to a certain group, she's lost someone she loves. And then right after that, she meets up with Enzo, and then they make out. I definitely didn't expect that. It kind of seems like an odd pairing right now. And it's only this week that we've seen them having more scenes together, so it feels a little bit out of the blue. But, I'm sure as the season goes on, we'll see them develop more, and, who knows, maybe they'll actually be believable, and we'll actually like them as a couple. I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people are still into the whole idea of Damon and Bonnie, the whole, thing it's called, what is it? Bayman, the whole Bayman thing. I think it makes more sense for Damon and Bonnie to simply be really, really, really close friends. Don't get me wrong, I like their development as a, as a friend, as far as friends go, and the friendship. But I don't think they could work as a couple. I'm kind of divided about it, because it would be in bad taste because of what happened to Elena and stuff like that, and how she's going to be coming back in less than 100 years anyway. But, I do still think that'd be in bad taste. I'm talking in circles, I know. I'm sorry about that, guys. But, at the same time, I do think they have chemistry together, and it sucks because I know this show is going to be on for at least this season, maybe one more. If not longer, but, I don't want to get too drawn out. And so I know by that time they're probably going to give Damon another love interest until Elena comes back, because she wanted him to live his life and stuff. And it sucks because the only character on the show that he does actually have some more chemistry with would be Bonnie, and we know they can't really happen. But I'm not one of those people who really wants it one way or the other. I'm fine with it either way. I guess I can accept them as close friends, or I could probably believe in them as growing closer than that too. But Enzo and Bonnie just feels really random right now. But of course, I'm just gonna give it a chance and see how they build it up and stuff like that. And maybe it's not meant to make sense completely right now, because like a little Caroline thing, there's just a lot of surprising things, being wondered about that. There's just a lot of questions about a lot of things, so maybe that's the point. So maybe we're not supposed to fully believe in it yet, it's supposed to kind of be out of nowhere, because that's what the rest of the flash forwards have been doing. But there's that. Of course, Lily is preparing, for Julian's return. Of course, they're trying to bring Julian back, who is a figure from her and the Heretics past, man she is involved with. As she said, one of those people that, like one of those guys you don't want to fall for, but for some reason do, or the ones that you shouldn't fall for, but you do anyway. But, and of course that puts Enzo at, somewhat of odds with Lily, because we know he has feelings for her, and, she basically ended up telling Enzo this week that, she hopes he understands, why she's so committed to him and stuff like that. But so we may be seeing Enzo switch sides at some point. But I did like one scene between Bonnie and Enzo this episode where she tells him maybe he deserves better, and it's probably some foreshadowing there. But again, we'll see where that goes. Okay, so Valerie, ends up being tracked down by Damon and Stefan, because they both have a common goal that they want to stop Julian from being brought back. And I just loved their scenes together on the road, because Damon was just acting like this hilarious, awkward third wheel that you never want when you're with a girl that's at all important to you. Of course, Caroline is nervous about Stefan going out with her, whether she admit it or not, or depending on her mood. But, of course, Damon's trying, taking out this new leaf, trying to do right by Elena and stuff like that, which I think he is, but, he's just kind of making a joke out of part of it. But, of course, he is taking it seriously, though, don't get me wrong. But I just thought Damon was hilarious, just cutting in and, like, sending in between Valerie and Stefan and stuff like that, just making it even more awkward than it already was. Excuse me. So that was good. And we see that Joe actually wakes up, and Lark's trying to comfort her, and I don't know why I never thought of this, but we'll get to that, what that's really all about, in a few minutes. Well, actually, you can talk about it right now. Valerie ends up revealing that Phoenix Stone doesn't just bring people back and that's it. It's like basically a container for vampire souls. And so a random vampire soul is basically put into Joe, and another one's put into Oscar, because that's definitely not Oscar at all. And just instantly makes you worry about Alaric being with Joe right now. And it just makes it all the more tragic again. Nothing ever works out for Alaric as far as women goes, and now it's not even his. It's just someone running around in her body. So that was kind of sad to see again. And of course it makes sense that Joe is like hungry, because of course the vampire's inside her, and it's not even Joe. And of course, no memory, Alaric is trying to fill her in, but he ends up being told about what is actually going on from Bonnie, and it's just like, this guy can't catch a break. So there's that. And of course Lily ends up catching Valerie, Stefan, and Damon in the act of trying to burn Julian's body so they can bring him back. But and apparently it is also revealed that Lily actually told, or gave Kai the sleeper spell that put Elena in temporary rest for however long. And I'm not sure if they touched on that before or not, but Damon just snaps, and understandably so. He gets a hold of Lily, but of course that's broken up, and Damon's just like really eager to put her head on a pike pretty much after that. And Stefan admits that she definitely deserves it, even though she's their mother. She's throwing him aside now. It's real that she did all this to them. She's pulled out with Elena and stuff like that. That's just unforgivable. If I was Stefan, I wouldn't stop Damon. I'd just let him tear her head off however quickly he can. So there's that. I like that tie back. Okay. And big question is why does Valerie? Excuse me. A big question has been, why does Valerie hate Julian so much? Why is she so opposed to him being brought back, besides him being a dick, which we already knew in the flashbacks? And that's because apparently that one night Valerie and Stefan were together. Valerie actually got pregnant, and she was carrying Stefan's child. And when Julian discovered this, he took the baby away from her. He basically caused her to have a miscarriage. They didn't really go into too much detail about that. They didn't have to. They implied that we all got what they meant. And that's just very sad, and it's a real shame because out of all the characters on the show, Stefan would probably make the best father you'd see on a poster board or something like that. So it was really sad to see Stefan, his reaction to almost having something like that. And that eventually leads to a scene of Stefan and Valerie sort of bonding over that loss, and them sort of coming to a further understanding with each other. And that was probably the best scene those two have shared so far this season. So it's making me starting to become more interested and a little bit more invested in it, so I did really like that. I already told you about Bonnie talking to Alaric about Joe. And then, of course, we see Damon and Bonnie chilling out, and of course, Bonnie's also saying how she needs to find a man and stuff like that, to Caroline earlier. And that's funny how they're still, showing Damon and Bonnie together. But I know they're friends, so it still makes sense. But it seems like they're teasing us with that idea, too. But, of course, that would be kind of awkward with the whole Elena thing going on, so, yeah. If it was my choice, I'd probably just have Damon remain, alone and try and make the best of it until Elena comes back, but I don't know. Again, Elena wanted him to live his life, so I don't know. But as the ending sequence, occurred, with Julian being revived in the Salvatore house by Lily and stuff, and them having their moment of reuniting. As Damon was talking to Bonnie, I thought he had set something up so Julian would immediately die or something. We'd see something immediately wrong with him, but nope. It tricked me, and Damon just is just still planning to rip his head off one way or another in front of her, so she can taste that form of happiness and just have it torn away in such a brutal fashion because of what she helped do to Elena. She orchestrated the whole idea, so yeah, I can't wait for Julian's demise already. Looking forward to Lily finally being brought down at some point. We'll see. And so overall, I did really enjoy this week's episode as per usual. I won't say it's the best of the season so far, but it's definitely still very good, and it's definitely building up to something that's making me more and more interested in the Heretics thing. So I do really like where they're going with all this still. I think it's improving as a story as a whole. So if there's anything I didn't mention that you want me to you can get my thoughts on, feel free to leave a comment below. I'd love to discuss with you guys as always. Add me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, movie follow that, look around spoilerdead.com. Catch you guys in a little bit for my originals review, and peace.